So hi, my name's Andrew Ellis. I am a learning support specialist at a private elementary school in Wilmington, Delaware, about 20 minutes south of Philadelphia. And I'm here to talk to you today about how pizza has humanized my relationship with my students. So before I get into really what Pizza Club's all about, I want to take you back to when you were in school. So school consumes, by the time we're 3 years old, school consumes most of our lives. Okay, from testing to standardized testing, to taking tests, to regurgitating back information to teachers, school consumes our life, and it is a lot of work. And as you get older, it only gets more complicated. So now we have to self-identify ourselves. We have to, figure out those social norms, figure out how to be the best version of ourselves, and figure out what our interests are and where where kids want to fit in socially. It is tough, and what makes it even tougher is how society's priorities on school. So the University of Florida came out with a study about a couple of years ago, and the study found that 30% of report cards are handed out on Fridays in America. And that next day, reports of child abuse go up 4 times as much. So take a minute to think about that. A report card in an elementary school handed out on a Friday, and that next day, reports of child abuse go up 4 times as much. And that study really struck me, one, because I don't remember on any college application or any high school application that you fill out that you have to report your middle school grades. And two, to me, it is way more important to develop a process of being a good student than what the report card says or how the report card defines who you are as a student. So the study really, kind of shocked me, and I wanted to figure out how I can reach my students where they're at instead of where society wants them to be in the grade book. So I started a pizza club, and what I was finding at my school is that kids are not just students, they are people. And they are people too, and they go through things just like any adult does on a daily basis, and they have things that affect them in their lives just like any adult or teachers do. And I really think that it's a tragedy that they feel they have to hide their feelings for fear of rejection or failure, or, the whole toughen up philosophy that is currently in our society. And teachers only see them 1 hour a day, and the other 23 hours, we really are not privy to what goes on in their life unless a guidance counselor reaches out or a parent. So what I wanted to do is kind of humanize my relationship with students, because it's unfair for me to assume that they are just going to reach out, right? Because society has this proverbial wall, if you want to call it, between teacher and student. So since the Industrial Revolution, it's been, okay, teacher gives information, students regurgitate that information back, and that's where the relationship ends. Even in today's society, if you look at, applications and what teachers, write on applications and write on college admissions recommendations, it's very framed and they write the same format for every student instead of really getting to know that student. Think about your first day at school. It is some bogus, get to know me session for 45 minutes on the first day of school. After course expectations, then the 179 days of school, it's really, I'm your teacher, you're the student, and we're going to keep those boundaries. So what I was finding is that my students had a bunch of different issues, from family deaths to grade issues, to feeling that they can't get out of things, to divorce, which the numbers keep going up in society. So Pizza Club was an idea that me and a couple other teachers came up with to humanize the relationship between our students and the teaching staff. So once a week, we as teachers would get together with a group of 6 students and talk about anything but school. And if you think back to it, wherever you are in your life or however your day went or wherever you're with, you're always happy eating pizza. And the great thing about pizza is you can personalize it from the crust to the sauce to the cheese to what goes on the topping. Everybody likes pizza, right? If it's extra cheese or no sauce or white pizza, everybody loves pizza, and everybody's usually pretty happy when you eat pizza. And over the past year, the club has met over 30 times. We served over 130 pies to over 100 different students. And what we're finding is when we break down this invisible wall by eating pizza with kids, they're more willing to work for us. They're more willing to share their thoughts, share their feelings, and most importantly, they know that we have their back. Because at the end of the day, they're not just students. I could care less what their grades are in from third to fifth grade. But they are people too, and they need to be respected as such. So, and I challenge society and education as a culture to really understand your students for who they are as people. And, while the grade book serves a purpose and the standardized tests apparently serve a purpose, it is about the student and meeting them where they are at. So maybe they don't meet your expectations as a student, but do you meet their expectations as a mentor and as a person that they need to trust? Because students walk around with these invisible book bags of issues that we have no idea to, and sometimes we're not even thinking about. So if a student has a death in the family, do we know that? Are we mistaking them laying down in class as being rude, but instead that student had to hear their mom and dad fight all night and didn't get any sleep? Or maybe they're not sure where their next meal is going to come from. Or maybe their dog died and they're experiencing death for the first time. Are we doing a good enough job at getting to know what the other 23 hours of our students' lives look like and meeting them where they're at, not only academically, but as far as mental health is concerned as well. So a Pizza Club is very easy to do in your school. We've had tons of donations from families for Pizza Club, and it's about $50 a session, and it's a great idea to get to know your students and to share a common meal with them, because you never know what they're going to say, or you never know what you're going to find out that you have in common with students. And from firsthand experience, it really has changed my philosophy of education and how I interact with my students on a daily basis. If you want to know more about Pizza Club or kind of my mission with students, my email is aellis@ursuline.org. Ursuline is URSULINE. I want to thank Jim so much for giving me this platform to talk about Pizza Club and how it's changed my relationship with students. And I look forward to hearing from you all soon. Thank you.